Alrighty. Who's seen this new Batgirl costume? Yeah, I'm sure most of everyone has seen this. I just want to know your thoughts right off the bat. Just put in the comments below. Let me know if you like the new Batgirl costume. I'm gonna start off with the pros, what I think is good about the costume. But before I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Now, I will give them this much. It looks like they're trying to recreate the Batgirl costume that she's currently, or I mean, one of her most recent suits. A little more urbanized and I think modern. I'll be honest with you, even in comic book form, I'm not overly fond of that costume. It's not one of my favorite costumes at all. It's an is what it is costume to me. It's just kind of there. That's how I feel about this one. And look, this is not against Leslie Grace in the slightest. This is nothing to bash her or her job. She's an actress, and I'm sure she's a great actress. This is more so to just bash the production, the costume design, and Warner Brothers' constant poor decision making. This costume just overall looks like the CW came in and said, we have years of practice with making D-tier costumes for DC superheroes in the millions of our bad shows that we make. We could make you a costume for Batgirl. Look, we just made a costume for Batwoman, and it's mediocre at best. We could make you a mediocre Batgirl costume. And Warner Brothers sat there and said, yeah, we like the word mediocre. Let's run with it. Don't get me wrong, it does look great if it was a cosplay costume. If a cosplayer came out and had this, I'd be like, damn, good for you. Like, that's really, really good. But you're now in the realm of big production industries. And I kind of draw a connection to this reveal photo. The way most comic movies do reveal photos of their main actor as the hero or even a villain. But I draw a connection to it when Zack Snyder dropped photos for Ben Affleck's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman when the films were coming out. And I think to myself that, Warner Brothers is destroying DC, and they're going down a route that no one gives a shit about. And they're bringing Michael Keaton back as the main Batman in the world, which I don't care about at all. But regardless, this is who they want to replace Batman with. And what I'm trying to get at is when they drop photos of the main character, you usually get excited and you're really, really happy to see what it looks like, and you start just theorizing everything about what the future of this character will look like in a film. When we saw Ben Affleck as Batman for the first time, there's so many thoughts running through our head. Like, it looked epic. Ben Affleck looked huge. He clearly put on weight. He worked out every day. Him beside the Batmobile looked awesome. He looked deadly. And those thoughts, more than anything, did end up happening in the films. But when I look at this photo, I'm like, it's cool in the sense that they're developing a Batgirl, but you're really gonna replace Batman with this. And I want to make this clear that I have absolutely no problem with Batgirl taking over a mantle. The issue is there is no mantle to take over because we haven't seen enough from the Batman. And it goes the same way for Superman. If that does happen to be true, that Supergirl is taking over, we have not seen enough from his Superman to have him give up a mantle to Supergirl. We just haven't seen enough of it, and I can't buy into this, especially when your costume looks like it's from the CW. This is supposed to be in the DCEU, and more often than not, DCEU films are theater releases. Now, of course, this movie is dropping on HBO Max, but obviously the production is a lot bigger and heavier than most DC projects, and you're also getting Michael Keaton, an A-list actor, into the film, and I just think this type of costume costume is not working for theatrical releases. There are also photo releases of Leslie Grace as just Barbara Gordon walking around in the streets of Gotham. She clearly has the red hair, and even her getup, I will say, she is fitting a Barbara Gordon picture very well. I think she's going to do really good. No matter what I sit here and say about her costume or the world they're building, I'll say this much. I think Leslie Grace will do a good job. It's just the story that I just don't care about, and everything else I don't care about. But as for Leslie, all the power to you, and I hope everything works out well for her. I truly do. I'm not bashing the actors or actresses. I'm just bashing the creative development. Now, not only did this costume reveal not hold up, I think, the way they wanted it to, and I don't think it made the type of excitement or passion for the movie that other costume reveals have done before. I mean, when I saw this pop up on my newsfeed, I actually scrolled past it because I just thought it was a cosplay. I did not think this was real until all the big news sites started to say breaking news, Batgirl costume revealed. I'm like, oof, that's not pretty. So not only did this, I think, fail to capture a lot of people's interest, there's something else that has been spotted on set of this movie that just does not make sense to me, and it just clearly shows that the DCEU is broken and lost in every aspect. So this tabloid, a magazine, was spotted on set of Batgirl. I'm going to read from top to bottom everything that this magazine says, and then I'm going to discuss a little bit about it. So it says, the rise of LexCorp Industries as one of the world's largest multinational conglomerates, witness testimonies from the Capitol building bombing, exclusive interview, billionaire villain Lex Luthor hires new lawyer to appeal sentence. And then it continues to say, we get this story from inside Arkham Asylum, extraordinary genius or psychotic maniac on his time as CEO of LexCorp Industries. It's got a picture of Luthor behind bars and another picture of Luthor with his hands covering his face. So the first big thing I want to point out here, and maybe I'm grasping at straws, okay? Maybe this is not a big deal at all. This might even sound petty when I point this out, but I can't help but point it out. They spelt his name Lex Luthor, not Luthor, Luthor with an E. L-U-T-H-E-R. If I'm not mistaken, every comic book adaptation of Lex Luthor is spelt Luthor. L-U-T-H-O-R. And every time I see Jesse Eisenberg mentioned as Lex Luthor, even on his IMDb page, it says Jesse Eisenberg plays Lex Luthor. L-U-T-H-O-R. I don't know if this is a spelling mistake. I don't know if I'm just looking way too far into things. I just can't help with how much Warner Brothers loves to chew out DC fans and their own world in general. I just can't help but feel like Warner Brothers is doing this on purpose to somehow distance the Lex Luthor of this world compared to the Lex Luthor we've had before. Once again, I could be looking way too far into it, and it truly might not even be a big deal, but I think that is very odd. I've never seen Luthor spelt that way. I just wanted to point that out. Now, continuing with other odd things from this magazine article, witness testimonies from the Capitol building bombing. Clearly, the bombing from Batman vs. Superman, when Lex Luthor blows up the Capitol building with Superman inside, that still happened. Or an iteration of that still happened. It also looks like Lex never breaks out of Arkham Asylum. So at the end of Justice League, when he's on his yacht talking to Deathstroke, that never happened. Also, when you look at the picture, there is no way to fully tell, but it does still kind of look like that could be Jesse Eisenberg. I don't think they have any plans whatsoever, so they're probably just throwing in a Lex Luthor Easter egg because they can. So at the end of the day, this magazine just shows to me that they're choosing specific aspects of the past films. You know, some things in Batman vs. Superman happened and other things didn't, and you don't even know who the Superman actually is, and it's just all over the place. And I gotta be honest with you, every single time I see something about this movie or the future of the DCEU, I get more and more disinterested, and I have no interest in seeing these films or projects. I just don't care. There is a very, very big problem when the majority of your fans are not talking about your future releases, or are simply just not getting excited from these leaks and rumors and images and whatever hits us on the internet. There's a big problem with that. There is even a photo spotted of a painting on a brick wall, and it's a picture of Batman and Robin right beside each other. You know, cool. I've always wanted to see a better iteration of Robin than what we got in the past, but I just can't care. I can't seem to find joy or excitement out of it. I'm just not interested with the route they're taking for the future. I want to feel excited, I truly do, but I can't. I can't feel excited because I know of Warner Brothers' desperate aspirations to completely ruin everything that people have been asking for this whole time, especially DC fans. So that's just kind of how I feel about all of this right now. I just feel like, meh. We have no guarantee or proof that Discovery will truly make a difference. I think a lot of us hope that they will. I hope Discovery moves in and really changes things for the better. This is not exciting for me. And look, if you are a person who cares and you actually think this is going to be good and you're excited, good. I'm glad. If this is what you're into, all the power to you. But for me, it's not cutting it for me. And, you know, at the end of the day, there is no DC universe, there is no Justice League without Batman and Superman, Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent. It doesn't work that way, and you can't just hand off the mantle to someone else when you haven't fully dived into their iterations of the characters and when people have clearly been asking for more of them. Okay, this is actually recorded after I finished the video. I did find out there's another tabloid magazine beside the Lex Luthor one, and I found a picture of it, and this one is from December 2022, whereas the Lex Luthor one says November 2022. On this one, it says, "The shadowy truth behind the Court of Owls. We expose the secret society run by the elite and corporate or corporation." It's kind of hard to tell once you get lower because the Batgirl symbol's covering and it gets a little blurry. But then in the top right corner, it says, "Owls tried to recruit me," says former circus child star. I could assume that's Dick Grayson. I mean, they're being really on the nose with that one. Interesting. Okay. The Court of Owls. I've made a video about the possibility of the Court of Owls potentially showing up in the Batman with Robert Pattinson. But this just feels like Warner Brothers is like, just do it. Just throw them in. Let's throw in a huge big name villain on a tabloid of a magazine and make them an Easter egg. Who cares? Who cares if there's no story behind it, or if we're never actually going to do it, or the fact that we've never talked about the Court of Owls in the DCEU before or yet. Let's just do it. But overall, this is just another very big issue with creative direction. It's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. The whole world, Warner Brothers as a whole, it's a mess. I already made a DC rant video that honestly a lot of people have been watching. It's almost at 2K views right now, and I appreciate everyone who's taken the time to watch it. And I also appreciate everyone who has been supporting me off of that video. And I don't want to turn this into a DC rant, so I'm not going to. I'm going to stop the video here because for anyone who has seen that video, you know where I stand with the decision making that Warner Brothers is currently doing. And if you don't, you can go check out that video and see what I have to say. But anyways, everyone, that is it for this video. Make sure to leave in the comments below what you think of the costume design and the whole magazine situation, and just, you know, honestly, what you think about the Lex Luthor spelling. I do think there's a piece of me that's probably looking way too far into it, but with the amount of ridiculous decisions Warner Brothers has been making, I honestly wouldn't doubt if that is a slight towards Snyderverse fans. I seriously would not doubt it, because they've gone to extreme lengths to show that they don't care about us or DC fans in general. But let me know what you think about that. All right, everyone, but that's it for this one, and I'll talk to you all very soon. See ya.